Hello everyone, and welcome to my CBS Y&R Gossip channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Summer returns to Genoa City, a place filled with memories and unresolved emotions, only to be immediately confronted with a revelation that shakes the very foundations of her identity. The discovery of her biological father's identity, unveiled by Phyllis, sends shockwaves through Summer's world, compelling her to reevaluate everything she thought she knew about herself and her past. Summer's journey begins with her re-entry into the bustling life of Genoa City, a city that holds deep ties to her family and personal history. Having been away for some time, her return is not merely a physical homecoming but also an emotional reckoning. The anticipation of reconnecting with loved ones is soon overshadowed by the unexpected and earth-shattering news delivered by Phyllis. Phyllis's revelation is not just a casual piece of information, it is a bombshell that redefines Summer's lineage and the relationships she has built around her assumed family tree. Until this moment, Summer believed she had a clear understanding of her parentage, but Phyllis's disclosure casts doubt and confusion, forcing Summer to confront the reality that her biological father is not who she thought it was. This revelation touches on themes of identity, trust, and the complexity of family dynamics. For Summer, learning the truth about her biological father means questioning the authenticity of her past experiences and the motivations of those around her. It is a moment that challenges her sense of self and demands a reassessment of her personal history. The impact of this news is multifaceted. On one hand, Summer faces the emotional turmoil of betrayal and uncertainty. On the other, she must navigate the practical implications of this revelation, such as potential shifts in family alliances, inheritance issues, and public perception within the tight-knit community of Genoa City. Phyllis's role in revealing this secret is pivotal. Known for her complex relationships within the community, Phyllis's decision to share this information could be seen as an act of honesty or as a strategic move with deeper motivations. The dynamics between Summer and Phyllis are inevitably altered, as Summer grapples with feelings of anger, confusion, and perhaps gratitude for the truth. This storyline highlights the intricate web of relationships that define the young and the restless. The revelation about Summer's biological father does not exist in a vacuum. It influences and is influenced by the interactions among numerous characters, each with their stakes in the unfolding drama. Family members, friends, and rivals all react to this new information, leading to alliances being tested and new conflicts emerging. Summer's personal growth is a central theme as she processes the news. Her journey involves not only dealing with the external consequences but also an internal transformation. She must reconcile the woman she has become with the new understanding of her origins, forging a path forward that integrates her past with her present. The story also explores the concept of fatherhood beyond biology. Summer's relationship with the man she believed to be her father is complicated by the revelation. Questions arise about what defines a father: genetics, love, presence, or a combination thereof. This emotional exploration adds depth to the narrative, highlighting the nuances of family bonds. Moreover, the revelation impacts the broader narrative arcs within the show. It sets off a chain reaction of events that affect multiple characters and storylines, weaving Summer's personal crisis into the larger tapestry of Genoa City's ongoing dramas. The ripple effects of this secret alter the dynamics within the community, creating new tensions and opportunities for character development. As Summer confronts these challenges, she is supported and challenged by those around her. Friends offer comfort and advice, while adversaries may exploit the situation for their gain. This interplay of support and opposition enriches the storyline, providing a realistic portrayal of how people respond to life-altering news. The reactions of other characters also provide insight into their personalities and relationships with Summer. Some may express sympathy and solidarity, while others reveal hidden agendas or unresolved grievances. These varied responses add complexity to the narrative, emphasizing the multifaceted nature of human interactions. The theme of secrets and their consequences is central to this storyline. The long-held secret of Summer's biological father's identity underscores how hidden truths can shape lives and relationships. The moment of revelation is a catalyst for change, disrupting the status quo and prompting characters to confront their pasts and reconsider their futures. Summer's emotional journey is portrayed with sensitivity, capturing the confusion, hurt, and hope that come with such a profound discovery. Her resilience and determination to find her place in the world despite the upheaval serve as an inspiring element of the story. The storyline also invites viewers to reflect on broader social themes, such as the importance of honesty, the complexity of family structures, and the process of self-discovery. By engaging with these themes, the narrative resonates beyond the fictional world of Genoa City, offering relatable and thought-provoking content. In conclusion, Summer's return and the shocking revelation of her biological father's identity mark a significant turning point in The Young and the Restless. This storyline intricately explores themes of identity, family, and truth, weaving a compelling narrative that affects not only Summer but the entire community of Genoa City. Through emotional depth and complex character interactions, the show presents a powerful examination of how secrets shape lives and the courage required to embrace the truth. The car rolled to a stop outside the familiar gate, the iron bars gleaming in the late afternoon sun. Summer Abbott sat in the passenger seat, fingers laced together so tightly her knuckles had gone white. She hadn't been back in Genoa City in months, and the place looked the same in that unsettling way that suggested everything had changed beneath the surface. The driver opened the door, and for a moment she stayed seated, breathing in, bracing herself. Coming home was never simple, but this time there was a strange pull in her chest, a sense of urgency she couldn't quite explain. Inside the Abbott house, voices echoed from the living room. Laughter, then an argument, the familiar rhythm of a family that never quite found peace but never fully broke either. Summer stepped inside quietly, setting her bag down. Before anyone noticed her, she stood still, listening, absorbing the energy of the place she had once sworn she would never return to. Summer. Phyllis's voice cut through the room, sharp and disbelieving. Then footsteps, fast and unsteady, and suddenly her mother was in front of her, eyes shining, arms wrapping around her with a force that nearly knocked the breath out of her. "Hey, Mom," Summer said softly, returning the embrace. Phyllis pulled back, studying her daughter's face like she was afraid she might disappear again. "You didn't tell me you were coming today," Phyllis said, trying to smile but failing. There was something off, something tense beneath her excitement. "I wanted to surprise you," Summer replied. "I guess I succeeded." Phyllis laughed, but it sounded brittle. "You always do." As the initial excitement faded, Summer became aware of the heavy silence that settled around them. Her instincts, sharpened by years of navigating corporate boardrooms and emotional minefields, told her this visit wasn't just about missing home. She'd felt it before she even boarded the plane. Something was waiting for her here, something she couldn't outrun anymore. They sat down together, and Phyllis barely waited for the tea to cool before launching into questions about Summer's life away from Genoa City. Work, relationships, plans. Summer answered automatically, her mind elsewhere. Finally, she set her cup down. "Okay," Summer said, meeting her mother's eyes. "What's going on?" Phyllis froze. For a long moment, she said nothing. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. "What do you mean?" Phyllis asked, too casually. "I mean this," Summer replied, gesturing between them. "You're nervous. You've been nervous since you saw me. And don't say it's because you missed me. This is different." Phyllis looked away, jaw tightening. Summer watched her, the pieces clicking into place in her mind. Fear, guilt, hesitation. She'd seen those expressions on her mother before, usually right before a bombshell dropped. "Mom," Summer said gently but firmly. "Talk to me." Phyllis stood up abruptly, pacing the room. "I always told myself I'd tell you when the time was right," she muttered, more to herself than to Summer. Summer's stomach twisted. "Tell me what?" Phyllis stopped pacing and turned to face her daughter. Her eyes were wet now, the bravado stripped away. "I never meant for you to find out like this." "Find out what?" Summer's voice rose despite her attempt to stay calm. "You're scaring me." Phyllis took a deep breath, as if preparing to dive underwater. "The man you thought was your father, he isn't." The words landed with a dull thud, echoing in Summer's head. She stared at her mother, waiting for her to laugh, to say it was a joke, a misunderstanding. But Phyllis didn't laugh. "That's not funny," Summer said weakly. I know, Phyllis whispered. And I'm not joking. Summer stood up slowly, her legs unsteady. No, that's not possible. I know who my father is. You know who raised you, Phyllis corrected. That's not the same thing. The room felt smaller, the walls closing in. Memories rushed through Summer's mind, childhood moments, family photos, conversations she'd taken for granted. She felt like someone had reached into her past and started pulling threads loose. Who? Summer asked, her voice barely audible. Who is he? Phyllis hesitated, tears spilling over now. Before I say his name, you need to know something, she said. This doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change the life you've lived. That depends on what you're about to say, Summer replied, her tone sharp despite the tremor in her hands. Phyllis swallowed hard. Your biological father is Nick Newman. The world seemed to tilt. Summer staggered back, grabbing the edge of the table to steady herself. No, she said, shaking her head. That's not. Nick is. Nick is. Her mind scrambled, trying to reorder reality. Nick Newman. A man who had been a constant presence in her life, a complicated, familiar figure. Someone she had argued with, confided in, even loved in her own way. But not like this. Never like this. You're lying, Summer said. You have to be. I wish I were, Phyllis replied. I wanted to protect you. I wanted to protect everyone. Protect us from what? Summer snapped. The truth. Phyllis nodded miserably. Yes. Summer turned away, pacing now, mirroring her mother's earlier movements. Every step felt like it might send her crashing to the floor. How long have you known? All your life, Phyllis admitted. From the moment I found out I was pregnant. And Nick knows? Summer asked, stopping abruptly. Phyllis hesitated. That was all the answer Summer needed. He knows, Summer said flatly. He's known this whole time. Yes, Phyllis whispered. But it wasn't his decision to tell you. Summer let out a bitter laugh. Of course it wasn't. Images of Nick flashed through her mind, his protective instincts, his complicated feelings toward her mother, the way he'd sometimes looked at Summer like he wanted to say something but didn't. All those moments she'd brushed off suddenly took on new meaning. I need air, Summer said, heading toward the door. Summer, wait, Phyllis called, but Summer was already gone. Outside, the cool breeze did little to calm her racing thoughts. She walked without direction, past familiar streets that now felt foreign. Every face she passed reminded her of the tangled web of relationships that defined Genoa City. She wondered who else knew, who else had looked at her and seen the truth she'd been denied. Her phone buzzed. Nick's name lit up the screen. She stared at it for a long moment before answering. Don't, she said as soon as she picked up. Just, don't pretend you don't know. There was a pause on the other end, heavy and weighted. You know, Nick said quietly. Yes, Summer replied, her voice breaking. I know. Summer, I wanted to tell you, Nick said. So many times. When? She shot back. After another year? Another decade? After it didn't matter anymore. It always mattered, Nick replied. That's why it was so hard. Summer closed her eyes, fighting back tears. I need to see you. Where are you? Nick asked. Coming to you, she said, ending the call. When she arrived, Nick was waiting, his expression a mix of relief and dread. For a moment, they just stood there, staring at each other. The resemblance she'd never noticed before now seemed impossible to ignore. Say it, Summer said. I need to hear it from you. Nick took a step closer. I'm your father. The words echoed louder than she'd expected. Summer's chest tightened, and she felt tears spill down her cheeks despite her resolve not to cry. All this time, she said. All those moments. You knew.